Chapter 1. Howie. What am I even doing with my life? I'm a professional athlete living in my best friend Rookie's condo, taking turns as designated driver on drinking holidays. I'm the sober one on New Year's Day because I ate Rookie's beef jerky and had to chauffeur him as punishment. And so, I'm on airport duty for his sister. I honestly don't know if he'd actually kick me out if I refused to get baby Rookie from her flight, but I'm also too irritated to deal with finding a realtor, and I really don't feel like living in a hotel. It's bad enough living in a hotel on the road with the Pittsburgh Fury men's hockey team. I turn the volume down on the stereo in my G-Wagon and concentrate on merging on Pittsburgh's weirdest bridge. I swear I will never understand the Fort Pitt tunnel entrance as long as I live here, which might not be much longer if I don't get my shit together. But my hockey career is a problem for later. Right now, I have to move 4 lanes to my left without barfing when I check my blind spots, and then I have to find Ella Rukowski, baby Rookie, and bring her back to our place. I didn't mean to stay up all night. We started things off right with a casual hang at the meatball joint, just me and my main buds. But then someone suggested a club a few blocks away, and, well, here we are. I'm not hungover, but I'm groggy and dehydrated for sure. At least it's easy to find a parking spot at the airport on New Year's Day. I grab a hat, smash my hair over my forehead, and adjust my sunglasses, ready to find Rookie's kid sister at baggage claim. I should probably have gotten her cell or something. I doubt Rookie will respond to a text or answer a call. I'm not even sure what flight she's on, but I guess there aren't too many coming in from Minnesota this morning. I wedge myself into a seat near the baggage carousel, too tired to even mess around on my phone while I wait. I haven't seen Ella in years. Not since Rookie and I went to college, when she stopped being a permanent fixture in the carpool for all our tournaments and practices. The Rukowskis invite me and my parents to hang with them in the summers, but I'm never really in the mood to see my parents, so here we are. How different could Ella look, though? I close my eyes and think back, imagining Rookie's face on a girl with braids. She always wore glasses and seemed pissed off. I guess I would be pissed off if I had to tag along in a car full of hockey gear and hockey guys and I didn't play the sport. A few passengers appear on the escalator, but none look familiar. My phone buzzes in my lap and I grab it quickly, but it's just a message from my dad hoping I make a statement in the new year. I snooze the conversation, not wanting to see his flood of unsolicited advice based on his glory days as the league's meanest enforcer. So far, nobody seems to recognize me, but I don't see anyone who might be Ella either. I scrub a hand down my face and lean forward, scanning the terminal. Through the haze of my headache and dehydration, I notice a super hot chick bent over to tie her shoe. She's thick in all the right places. Someone who wouldn't break with a guy my size on top of her. The barely liquid blood in my veins surges directly to my pants as I let myself stare at this woman's incredible backside. I want to knead my fingers in it and squeeze. I want to feel those plush thighs around my waist, bury my face between those tits and feel every inch of this woman's softness against my body. Damn, she's fine. Her dark jeans fit her perfectly, and she's wearing bright pink sneakers with a purple sweater of some kind. It's got a V-shaped neckline that has me wanting to go on a search and rescue mission down the front. I watch her bite a glossy, plump lip and glance around. She's looking for someone. Someone gets to take her home. Lucky bastard. I'm all out staring now, masked by my mirror sunglasses, watching her heft a giant bag off the belt. I should probably offer to help her. Be a hero. I'm about to stand up and do it, I swear, when she turns and looks directly at me, striding across the space like she's on a mission. I glance around and there is nobody else over here on this bank of seats. I grin and sit back, feeling the arms of the chair dig into my thighs. The world just isn't built for guys who are 6'3" and weigh 220. So I adjust myself and plant my grin back on my face before I notice that she is not amused. She grunts and drops the handle of her suitcase, which tips over with a clatter that squeezes my brain cells. I wince, and she scolds. "Seriously? He sent you?" I clear my throat. "I'm sorry?" She snaps her fingers in my face. "Hello? Bernard? Where is my brother?" A horrifying realization begins to settle into my aching body. This sexy goddess is not a stranger at all. This is the girl who used to wipe peanut butter hands on my pants in the backseat of Jason Rukowski's parents' Jeep while hockey sticks jabbed us both in the back of the head. This kid, who is in fact the sexiest woman I've ever seen, is Ella Rukowski. I'm sitting here half-hard, ogling my roommate's kid sister.
Chapter 2. Ella. I clocked Bernard Hauser from the top of the escalator and felt immediate annoyance at seeing him again. And then I realized he was here alone, without my brother, and my entire life as an afterthought in the Rukowski family came rushing back to the surface. Of course, Jason's offer to help me find my feet was just another empty promise. Whatever. At least Bernard can lift my bag. I pout alongside him as he hefts the giant monstrosity upright and grabs the handle with his thick, hockey-roughened fingers. I haven't seen him in years, but I recognized the huge frame and curly hair sticking out from his black hat. Jason, asked me to grab you so he could finish cleaning for you. He lies, and the effort is just charming enough that I inhale, smile, and gesture toward the sliding doors. Right, great. Thank you for picking me up. I clutch my purse against my sweater, and Bernard pauses, scratching the back of his neck, the motion hitching up his hoodie and revealing a glimpse of taut muscle above the waistband of his sweatpants. Thankfully, those are black, so I'm not flagrantly staring at his junk, but it's bad enough that I'm noticing the added muscle and bulk that Bernard Howie Hauser has put on since I last saw him at a college hockey game my freshman year. He and my brother both got drafted and left college early for the pros, and I thought that might give me a blessed taste of anonymity for my last few years. But Minnesotans never forget a hockey star. Even in clinical rotations, I was baby rookie instead of Ella, under the spotlight of my brother's fame. At least I'm used to it. It seems like Jason's name is the only way I get indoors professionally with grades like mine. The only nurse extern jobs I managed to find were in my hometown, no thank you, and here in Pittsburgh, where my brother's stupid face is all over billboards promoting beef jerky. Ella? Bernard's voice cuts through my thought cloud, and I realize he asked me something. Sorry, what? I said, don't you want a jacket or something? It's like 5 degrees outside. I arch a brow at him, and he laughs, shaking his head and rolling my bag through the doorway toward the parking garage. I follow, absolutely not noticing the tight, round bulge of his gluteus maximus, deciding not to chastise him for asking a Minnesota girl if she's cold. He makes his way toward an expensive SUV, clicks a key fob that opens the hatch, and tosses my bag inside like it weighs little more than a rancid hockey glove. I head toward the passenger seat, surprised to find him sprinting around the car to open the door for me. Judging by the look on his face, he, too, is taken aback by his chivalrous instinct. Thanks, I tell him, climbing into the ridiculously luxurious leather seat, eyeing the heated seat button as soon as he turns the engine on. This is a major upgrade from my last experience sharing a ride with Bernard Hauser, that's for sure. He turns the radio down to a quiet hum and backs out of the parking spot, tossing his arm around the back of my seat, despite the backup camera that would have guided him just fine. I'm hit with a wave of spicy deodorant and soap, and I really shouldn't find it There is really no word apart from titillating. Shit. So, I flick on the seat warmer, eager to distract myself from unclean thoughts. What's the T on the team? Who does Jason want to punch? Bernard chuckles and leans a bit to check his mirrors. God, he's a good driver. Ooh, why am I focused on that? He says, Your brother and I are tight with the Stag twins. You know, Tucker and Alder. I shrug. Of course I know my brother's teammates, but I'm not going to let this douche canoe know that I follow the Fury. I'm here to forge my own path. Bernard's fingers drum on the steering wheel, knuckles scarred and forever bruised from his trade. Well, Tuck knocked up our goalie's ex-wife and they have twins, so that's been... I whistle. Awkward. Wait, isn't the goalie also a stag? Bernard shakes his head, glides into the passing lane, and zooms by a battered Buick struggling to keep pace on the highway. We have a tandem goalie rotation. Grentley is the one with the ex-wife. Gunner Stagg is absolutely in love with his wife, and I'm pretty sure it's mutual. Neither of us has much to say in response to that, so I stare at the window as we ease past an IKEA. Tell me about my brother's place. Is he still hoarding meat and being weird about sharing? Bernard grunts, which seems like a neutral response to questions about my brother's juvenile rules. Let's say we do our own food shopping. Good to know. Good to know. I turn to face Bernard. You still live there too, right? He turns and stares at me, slowing the car until someone behind him lays on the horn. He snaps his eyes back to the road and speeds back up, saying, When you say two, do you mean... Did Rookie... Are you staying at our place? Well, yeah. I cross my arms over my chest and stare at him as he tries not to look at me, following signs toward downtown. Jason told me to come stay with you guys until I pass my NCLEX and get hired permanently. What's the issue? I watch the muscles of Bernard's throat as he swallows, glancing over his left shoulder and heading into a tunnel. There are only 2 bedrooms in our place, he says, drumming those fingers on the steering wheel. The car shoots out of the mouth of the tunnel, revealing the city of Pittsburgh in a yellow splash of beauty and bridges. The city makes an entrance as profound as the realization that my brother has once again fucked up my life. I came here as a probationary hire with the promise that my wealthy-ass brother would help me out while I study for my boards. There's no bedroom? Bernard shakes his head. I thought he got you a hotel room or something. I don't say anything else as we drive north toward a giant brick building with an old Heinz sign on the roof. Bernard parks his SUV in silence and walks around to the back to get my bag. I climb down and follow him to the lobby of a very fancy building with exposed brick and round windows. A ketchup factory reimagined as luxury condos. I cling to a small kernel of hope that my brother rented me an entire apartment above his, or something, that he doesn't expect me to spend multiple months sleeping on his couch while he and Bernard come in and out at all hours from their infamous orgies. I stare at the floor in the elevator, follow Bernard down the hallway, and pause inside the doorway as he yells, Yo, Rookie, we're here. At the echoing silence, Bernard sighs. He rolls my bag to the corner, props it against the wall, and then starts pounding on a door down the hall while I take in the view from the floor-to-ceiling windows in the living room. The guys have no curtains or anything, and the morning light streams through. I take in the white leather sofa, which seems comfortable enough for a night, but faces the river, where even on New Year's Day, a fleet of barges and tugboats blasts horns as they push coal west toward my hometown, toward a place that really has no better options for me than this. My brother emerges, half-clothed, clearly hungover. Ellie belly! He sees me and spreads his arms for a hug. I frown. What? No love for your bro? Come here, kid. He starts to walk toward me, and I hold out a palm to stop him. You told me I could stay here while I pass my boards. He leans on the wall next to me. Yeah? Welcome home. You know the rules. He winks at this like it's funny. Thankfully, he reads the room, and his face shifts. Look, Ella, this is a $10,000 couch. It's not like we have an air mattress for you. What's the issue? I gesture toward the window. Where am I supposed to change? Where do I put things? You don't even have shelves. He shrugs as if all of this is minor. You can change in the bathroom. What's the big deal? I look at the couch. No blankets. I glance down the hall where there's just one other door, presumably to Bernard's room. So, am I showering in your bathroom? When you're in there with a puck bunny? His face shifts. Of course not. You'll use... My brother's words freeze on his tongue as he finally grasps that he's sending me to the edges of his lifelong cardinal rule. Every team he's played for, every elite roster I had to observe as a passenger in the background of his life, has been serenaded with the famous rookie rules. Don't wear my gear, don't eat my food, don't touch my sister. I stare at my brother's bloodshot eyes, willing myself not to cry. I will not cry in front of him. The last time I did that, when I got my first period in the bleachers of his hockey tryout and bled through my pants, and he threw a fit about lending me clothes, he was unbearable afterward for months. He treated me like I was a baby with brittle bones and demanded I keep a bag of necessities in the car at all times. Of course, the hatch was filled to the brim with his gear and Bernard's, so that bag, and all my homework and on-the-go meals, had to be wedged by my feet, which were already smushed from Bernard's manspreading in the back seat. No, I am not going to cry right now. She can have my room, a voice utters. Bernard's. What? My brother and I turn in unison to stare. He shrugs. She needs privacy. She can sleep in my room. I'll knock before I hit the head. I close my eyes, not sure what to do with the gratitude I feel for this small kindness. When I gather my wits, I smile at my new roommate. Thank you, Bernard. I will find someplace else to stay as soon as I can. Jason rumbles some sort of noise. Suit yourselves, he says, and turns on his heel back into his own room. Bernard lifts my suitcase and pushes it through the other door. I'll just grab one of the pillows and let you get situated, he says. He pauses at the foot of the massive bed that takes up most of the room. I'll change the sheets too. We have laundry in the kitchen. I duck into the bathroom as he yanks on the linens, closing the door and staring at myself in the mirror. I'm a ball of test anxiety who barely passed my coursework with a provisional job in the emergency department at the trauma center where my brother's face shines down from a billboard onto my place of employment. I'm squatting in another man's bedroom, standing in his bathroom that still carries the faint scent of body wash, the air still damp from the shower he clearly took before coming to get me at the airport. I don't want to think of Bernard as a hero, but I'm feeling something unfamiliar as I stare at his bath towel hanging neatly on the hook. Maybe a nap will bring me some clarity. When I open the bathroom door, I'm alone in the bedroom, which has been made up with fresh sheets, the comforter tossed neatly over the one remaining pillow in the center of the bed. I collapse onto it face down and fall asleep, worried about these confusing feelings I'm having toward my brother's best friend.